given so much production to try and choose from. But in the end, who did you narrow it down to besides, I'm sure yourself did a bit?
I mean, well, originally I was going to do the whole lot, and then, probably maybe get Prowse to, come up with one or two for the album, and in the end, I'd sort of done about half of it, and then you got Prowse on there. He's got a few contributions. My boy Pete Butcher he's residing in Amsterdam at the moment. He's got a bit of stuff on there. He did the Strut Fallout Shelter release, and he did some stuff on Taunce's last album and a few other bits and pieces. He's worked with a lot of UK producers and other European dudes, as well as quite a few heads from New York lately. He's got a bit of stuff. I think he's doing a fair chunk on the new Sean Price album. I've got him on there, and I've got a few other little surprises which I won't divulge right here, right now. But you'll be hearing all about that sort of stuff as it crops up between now and the release. But it's about half and half. In fact, I've probably done about a third, and then 2/3 are from there's about 6 producers on there. So.
What about any guests as far as MCs that you can leak to us?
Not just at this stage. All that sort of stuff will be divulged over the coming months, leading into it. So there'll be bit by bit, but I can. Well, you probably would assume anyway that my brother Brad Strutt's on there, no doubt. So that's probably a given anyway. So I can give you that one.
Well, we got one exclusive or something.
no doubt.
Did you write a lot more songs and then sort of cut them down in the end?
Yeah, well, I mean, the weird thing is that in the end now, yes, a bit has been culled. Maybe not so much whole songs, but definitely verses and chunks of raps and maybe the odd track here and there. It's kind of like, it's one of those things where, because I don't actually write a lot of stuff anyway, what I write, I normally if I flip it into a song, then it's there for life, you know what I mean? So I'm pretty well, 90% of what I write, or 80% of what I actually end up writing down and taking out of my head to put onto the page, ends up turning into something that comes out somewhere along the line, sort of thing. So there has been a little bit of culling, but not a hell of a lot. Because the album's been sort of like a couple of years, not totally in the making, but since I last worked on Strut's Legend Official, which was 2007, and I had a little time off, and I was just doing production for other dudes, and I was doing a bit of engineering and mixing and stuff. Then I sort of really got back into it in the last sort of year and a half, 2 years. So you'd say the last year, I'd say from the start of 2010 is when I really started to knuckle down. So generally most stuff that's been, formulated into tracks over the course of the last year is staying on the album, bar probably a couple of verses here and there. I culled a couple of beats, definitely, that, actual, that have been recorded on those beats and stuff like that, tracks that were recorded. We ended up sort of switching up one or two, so, that's also, added a bit of a delay to getting the album totally finished, but that's just me being super finicky as well,
Yeah, 2010 has been a pretty big year in the Aussie hip-hop scene. Has you had any favourites over the year?
There has been some good shit out this year, definitely. Off the head, I probably couldn't pick one out of the bunch, but there's definitely been bits and pieces cropping up. It's probably actually been the best year for local stuff for quite a while, I'd suggest, actually. So I'd buy into saying that, definitely.
Yeah.
But as far as picking out one crew or product itself, I probably I couldn't do that, man. It's definitely I'd agree with the statement, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I reckon Crack Cartel have brought it really hard this year, so that's.
Oh, no doubt, man. Yeah, I mean, those dudes I've got to give a lot of respect to, because they're I like their sort of power in numbers way they've gone about shit as well. You know what I mean? I see them as kind of like a modern day Australian Wu-Tang type setup. A little bit like what we did with LC back, 10 years ago, 9 years ago now. When we sort of first formed LC, it was kind of like a little bit what Craig Cartel did, in a way that you would sort of take in dudes that were the best in their field, and from maybe different areas of the city or whatever, and formulating a crew to sort of rock along, and definitely everyone feeds off one another, which is dope, so everyone betters,
For sure, yeah, especially hip-hop being such a bedroom sort of art culture, being able to be made on the computer these days, it's unfortunate that a lot of it actually stays there.
In what way do you mean, man?
In the way you were saying that it takes that work ethic to really get it out there. Something, a lot of heads just stay at home.
Unfortunately, people just think that, you can just sit at home now and do it like that, and to a degree you probably can get away with it a little more than you ever could, because, there was no internet, or what there was definitely not being able to be used like it is now. So, you had to tour and you had to travel and you had to take your backpack full of shit and go to shows, and, that was the only way that people could hear who you were, whereas now you can sit at home. But, I think that's all good and well in the aspect, as long as you utilise it to its maximum in that way, but you still have to get out there and, because anyone and everyone can do that. So for one, you still have to have a product or, a service that's going to be better than the next man anyway. And secondly, you've got to get out there and really, live it and give it to the people as well, you know what I mean?
Definitely. I get you. I'll ask you one last question before we let you go. This is a question I ask all the artists who I speak to. If you were to create a posse track with 5 artists, dead or alive, who would you choose?
Oh, that's pretty hard, man.
I know. I like putting people on the spot with this one.
Alright, well, without actually naming names, we'll just make it a track. It is just a quick response with the word big before their name.
You can't do that, man, because I've just had...
It's been done.
It's been done twice now. Great minds think alike, I suppose.
Yeah, who were the other people that said that?
Suffer and Briggs.
Cool. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You put me a little bit on the spot. I would have to do some research on it. Can I pass on that or what?
I guess so.
Keep it the same, man. I know it's been done to death, but there's, if you're talking the world, then you're talking dead or alive, man. I'll break it down. I'll probably just give you the gods to me. I'll just say Lord Finesse,
yep.
Rakim,
yep.
Cool G Rap,
yep.
Big Daddy Kane, and Big Pun.
For sure, man. No, that's a good lineup. I'll take that one. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, and I could, I had enough DITC representation to leave out a couple, and I'll probably hear this back and regret the names I put in to a degree. I could have squeezed in someone here or someone there, but for those that never ever, to me, probably excluding Pun, I'd say the others, to put out each of them, I could easily swap Pun with, say, DPMD or, there's too many, man, but I'd say by and large 4 of that 5 put out, they're 3 or 4 in a row of incredible albums, so...
Definitely, you've chosen some dope artists there, man, there's no doubt about that. Thanks heaps for your time today, man, and
no dramas, man.
We all look forward so much to this album, so can't wait to hear it.
And keep up the updates, obviously the old Facebooks that go there.